Welcome to everyone joining us for the legislative briefing on building a school nutrition workforce for the future. My name is Tiffany Germain, and I'm a policy advisor with NextGen California. For those of you who don't know us, we are a nonprofit organization fighting for progressive, justice-centered policies and programs that positively impact all Californians, and I specifically focus on food insecurity. We're really thrilled to be co-hosting today's events with Senator Monique Limón, as well as our partners at the Chef Ann Foundation and Food Insight Group. Today, you will learn about the obstacles facing school nutrition departments, steps California is taking to address these challenges, results from a first-of-its-kind California survey on school food workforce compensation, and potential opportunities for California to embark and continue its visionary leadership in student nutrition. Slide, please. Quickly, I just want to note that this webinar is being recorded and that if you have any questions, please use Zoom's Q&A function, though we will also be pausing for questions throughout the presentation. Slide, please. And with that, I'm really pleased to introduce Senator Monique Limón. Senator Limón was elected in November 2020 to represent the 19th Senate District and has worked continuously to serve as an educator, leader, and an advocate for causes advancing the quality of life in her community. Before the state Senate, she served as an assembly member, served 6 years on the Santa Barbara Unified School Board, and as an assistant director for McNair's Scholars Program at the University of California, Santa Barbara. She is dedicated to making education a priority and is an incredible champion for issues that impact women. And we're very happy to have her with us here today. Senator Limón, please take it away.
Great to be here with you all to discuss the importance of school nutrition workforce. Look, California is leading the nation in improving school meals to better support the health and the academic success of students through the School Meals for All program. The program ensures that every student, regardless of income, receives 2 free meals per day while investing in training and equipment for school meal programs and funding the inclusion of local foods into school. Some of the key challenges faced by the nutrition departments include high turnover rates, a lack of formalized professional development, emphasizing scratch cooking, low pay, part-time work, especially at the entry levels, which compromise the majority of schools of the school food jobs. And so I think those are some things that, we like to keep in mind as we think of like, look, what are we, many of us here know the benefits, but also what are some of the challenges? Additionally to those concerns, a major issue and concern that arises for schools is that they rely heavily on more processed, less nutritious, the heat and serve type of food. And we know that a recent report in California School Nutrition Association put together and Food Insight Group, as well as Chef Ann Foundation, found that we have more than 12% job vacancies across the state in this area, which is 3 times higher than other U.S. Public school teachers. So we definitely know that we have a need and we have a layer of concern. So school food workers are historically some of the most underserved and underappreciated workforce members, despite their critical role in supporting the health of students. Even while faced with those challenges, school meal preparation is increasing. In California alone, we know that schools statewide serve about 872 million free school meals, a 5% increase from previous year. In 2022, the Healthy School Food Pathway Program became the nation's first healthy school food pre-apprenticeship, apprenticeship, and fellowship program formally registered with the state and federal governments. The Healthy School Food Pathway Program was designed to help attract and develop a skilled food workforce to fill the vacancies that I was telling you about, while also filling them, improving staff retention and improving the quality of food. We know that registered apprenticeship programs have been shown to assist employers in attracting and developing a diverse and highly skilled workforce, leading to improved productivity, reduced turnover, and a pathway to promotions and higher wages. I want to really thank our partners. We have partners in the state. I oftentimes talk about how government alone cannot solve every problem. And so I want to thank NextGen and Chef Ann Foundation and food insight groups, because you have been incredible partners, not just in taking the lead on this important conversation, but also on partnering with the legislature to take the conversation from dialogue to action, to impact. And so very grateful for all of you for your work that you've done on healthy school meals and also on the workforce. You need both to be sustainable, to be strong, for our students to feel that impact. So thank you all again for having me. Thanks for being here to discuss this really important conversation and to have these conversations that lead to policy changes and hopefully good things for our students.
We greatly appreciate your time and commitment to improving school food, and as well as highlighting a lot of the issues that we're going to dive into today. Could you do slide, please? So I'll get started by talking about the foundation of improving school food. Thanks to the visionary leadership of California's elected officials, our state has made historic investments in not only fighting hunger, but improving student nutrition. From providing free school meals to increasing the connection between local farms and schools, the only through line through these innovative programs is the workforce. It is the people that make all of this happen. The funding and the resources are so necessary, but without a stable workforce with both capacity and skill, we will not leverage our original investments and reach our goals of serving more healthy, freshly prepared meals to students across the state, regardless of income. So what are these programs? Slide, please. We have our first in the nation School Meals for All program, which is designed to meet hungry kids where they are. It bridges a critical food insecurity gap by ensuring that all children get access to 2 free school meals every single day. School Meals for All help students learn better and succeed in school through improved attendance, improved student behavior, better academic performance, and long-term educational attainment. Free school meals has provided access, ensuring that no child will go hungry, but a skilled workforce is an ongoing barrier to getting more healthy, freshly prepared food. Slide, please. A core tenet of School Meals for All is ensuring that every child receives nutritionally adequate food to support their learning, growth, and development. By making nutritious, locally sourced, and freshly prepared breakfasts and lunches available to all students, our state has raised the bar on a new standard for school nutrition nationwide. Here are just a few of the programs, legislation, and investments that work in tandem with School Meals for All program. The Farm to School Incubator Grant Program supports local food purchasing and learning opportunities. There's the Kitchen Infrastructure and Training Program that helps schools upgrade their kitchens and equipments, while the recently passed Education Bond actually includes investments in kitchen facilities, and the Climate Bond invests in food system resilience. This is going to help bolster those small and mid-sized local farms that are reliant on the relationship with local buyers, including some of the biggest buyers in town, school nutrition departments. A trained workforce is crucial to leveraging the investments we've made and continuing our progress in being a national leader in this space. Slide, please. And as we know, as Senator Limón mentioned, more California students are choosing to participate in the preschool breakfast and lunch program, meaning fewer students are going hungry. As she mentioned, we served a record 872 million free school meals last year. And as demand is increasing, so must our support for the workers who will source, prepare, and serve the meals our students are depending on. Slide, please. Are there any initial questions that we can answer so far? I'm seeing none. So slide, please. And with that, I will hand it over to Mara Fleischman, who's the CEO of the Chef Ann Foundation, to share more about California's school food workforce and the Healthy School Food Pathway Program.
Thank you, Tiffany. And thank you so much, Senator Limón, for your intro comments. My name is Mara Fleischman. I am the CEO of the Chef Ann Foundation. And I have been in this role for just about 11 years. And I want to just talk to you a little bit about the workforce and the opportunity. Slide, please. So the school food workforce, who are they? We need to know this. According to a recent study by UC Berkeley Labor Center, they are generally middle-aged women and more likely to be Black or Latino than the overall workforce. Almost entirely female, about 93%. Slide, please. School food workers are earning some of the lowest wages across all occupations, and industries, including within the school districts themselves. Slide, please. This is emblematic of a larger trend in California for Latino women, where California holds the distinction of having the greatest wage gap between Latino women and white men in the nation. This is often overlooked and underserved workforce population in California. Slide, please. So as we look here to the workforce challenges that are inhibiting success, as California makes exciting progress towards its vision of more scratch-cooked meals for all children that are sourced from local, climate-friendly farmers, school nutrition departments are really stretched thin. Key challenges facing nutrition departments include staffing vacancies, high turnover rates, underinvestment in formalized professional development, which, they need to emphasize scratch cooking in that, which can limit real achievement opportunities. And they have low pay, especially at the entry levels, which compromise the majority of school food positions. Slide, please. The good news is that registered apprenticeship programs have been designed to address these exact workforce challenges. Traditionally in the private sector, and now we are applying those solutions that have proven out in the private sector through apprenticeship in the public sector as well. Slide, please. Registered apprenticeship programs have been shown to assist employers in attracting and developing a diverse and highly skilled workforce. They lead to improved productivity, reduced turnover, and a pathway to promotions and higher wages. Registered apprenticeship is an industry-driven, high-quality career pathway where employers can develop and prepare their future workforce. And individuals themselves can obtain paid work experience with a mentor, receive progressive wage increases, classroom instruction, and portable, nationally recognized credentials. Slide, please. So we developed a registered apprenticeship program for the school food workforce, and it is the first in the nation. The Chef Ann Foundation's Healthy School Food Pathways program, which are originally launched in California, offers a solution by promoting scratch cooking, professional development, and community engagement with its first in the nation registered program designed for the school food workforce. Slide, please. So just to help you understand the people behind the design of this program, the Chef Ann Foundation is a national nonprofit. We are the experts in helping districts move from serving more processed food to serving scratch cook. It was started by Chef Ann Cooper, who was the food services director at Berkeley Unified School District and helped move their program from serving processed food to serving freshly prepared scratch cook food. And when she did that, she got requests from all over the country to come and help their program. And she understood that she needed to start this foundation to help districts do just that. And so in 2009, that's what she did. Our foundation has school food operations specialists who have worked in school food in California that helped design this program, along and in partnership with unions, with DOL and DAS representatives, and with current school food leaders. Next slide, please. So to look at the pathway, this is what the Healthy School Food Pathway Continuum looks like. There is a pre-apprenticeship, an apprenticeship, and a fellowship, as we had stated, all registered programming. And let's go to the next slide, please, to take a look at what this is made up of. So the pre-apprenticeship is a 7-week program that has 12 hours of on-site work experience every week during those 7 weeks, and just about 20 hours of academic support throughout the pre-apprenticeship program. The apprenticeship program is 9 months, a full school year, 24 hours of on-site work per week, along with about 150 hours of educational time, academic time. And the fellowship is 13 months of asynchronous learning and applied on-site work, along with live virtual learning sessions. There are additional courses, 5 courses through the School Food Institute. There are 5 in-person trips that they take to learn on-site. And there are group policy projects along with a capstone project. Next slide, please. So the Healthy School Food Pathways program does align with state goals, and this is really important. The Healthy School Food Pathway achieve the California administration's apprenticeship targets, specifically for the public sector apprenticeships. The state goal is to serve 500,000 apprenticeships by 2029, and this program does help support that. The program also supports to increase their scratch cooking and upskilling workers, which connects to the goals of the Universal Meal Program that Cal Healthy School Meals for All. It also supports farm to school goals, helping districts purchase more climate-friendly food from California farmers. As a note, the increase in farm to school participation is also a success metric in the California Climate Adaptation Strategy. Next slide, please. Just wanted to show you guys where these districts exist. So we have 71 total work sites signed up to host apprentices in California. And here are the 31 districts we have in Northern California. Next slide, please. We have 24 districts in Southern California. Next slide, please. And 16 districts in Central California. Thank you. Next slide, please. And here you can see it on the map. The lighter green shows you the districts that are currently only hosting incumbent workers, and the darker green are hosting both external and incumbent workers. Next slide, please. As part of this program, a really well-received component of it is the TA that is provided to prepare the work sites for increasing their scratch cooking. The Chef Ann Foundation certifies each work site, ensuring that they are doing enough scratch cooking to meet the learning objectives of the registered apprenticeship. However, these districts are open to, if they are not doing enough scratch cooking to meet the learning objectives, the Chef Ann Foundation will work with them and provide technical assistance to increase their levels of scratch cooking. And the technical assistance we provide really supports the whole program. So it's culinary trainings, recipe and menu development, equipment assessments, financial and labor modeling, and also procurement. Next slide, please. Here is an example of some of our technical assistance with a partner district, Western Placer Unified School District. This host site district, use of the TA, we worked with the food service director there to procure sustainable beef from Cream Co., which is a local beef company. And we worked with them to prepare and test out 100 servings of beef nachos, which is a compliant meal. Then that menu item was added to their school menu, which was really great to be able to add a local beef menu item. Next slide, please. Also, looking at another district up north is Klamath Trinity Joint Unified. In this district, that is on the Hoopa Valley Reservation, located up north, there is a strong interest in increasing scratch cooking. So they really wanted our help, and they wanted our help with a special focus on increasing Indigenous recipe representation. So CAFT worked, the Chef Ann Foundation worked in conjunction with their food service director to prepare and serve a Three Sisters stew and cornbread. They served over 200 servings of this, and the majority of the ingredients in that Three Sisters stew were locally sourced. Just another example. So now I want to pass this off to Debbie from Food Insight Group to talk about some early evaluation results.
Thanks, Mara, and thank you so much, Senator Limón, for hosting this webinar. We're really thrilled to be here. I'm Debbie Friedman. I'm the Director of Policy and Strategy with Food Insight Group. We've worked with Chef Ann Foundation since the inception of the Healthy School Food Pathway. I personally work on the policy side of things and especially focus on the partnerships with the unions. And Food Insight Group partners with the Chef Ann Foundation to conduct an independent evaluation of the program. And the early evaluation results, which we're about to share with you, are really exciting, and they do show significant promise. Oh, next slide, please. Sorry, I forgot to. Okay, next slide. And first, we have some data about who this program serves. Like the national school food workforce, Healthy School Food Pathway primarily benefits women, also Latinos and middle-aged workers. And the program is unique among registered apprenticeship programs nationwide in terms of who it serves. 56% of Healthy School Food Pathway program participants identify as Hispanic. And by comparison, 24% of national registered apprenticeship program participants identify as Hispanic. So we're really proud of serving this group, which is often underrepresented and often underserved in apprenticeship programs in our country. The next slide, please. And these charts highlight the growing interest and participation in the pre-apprenticeship and apprenticeship programs across all Healthy School Food Pathway programs and cohorts. There's been a significant rise in applications each year, which reflects increased interest in the program. Next slide, please. And the evaluation also found significant gains in school food competencies that are designed for operating a scratch cooking operation. Most participating apprentices and pre-apprentices would like to start or continue in school food after participating in the Healthy School Food Pathway program. And their motivations for participating revolve around making a positive impact on the school food system and nourishing children and contributing to their communities, while also improving their skills and advancing their careers. And that includes salary growth. Next slide, please. And the program is extremely popular. 100% of apprentices would recommend the program. 100% of fellows expressed satisfaction with the program, and 93% of pre-apprentices were satisfied with their experience. And next slide, please. And participating school districts also are seeing a lot of benefits from the program. Morale is increasing, workers are more engaged, they have increased their culinary skills, and districts are also seeing an increase in engagement, a sense of community, and collaboration among their workers. Next slide, please. And so these early evaluation results indicate that Healthy School Food Pathway is addressing key challenges that school nutrition departments face, and that it's a critical tool for helping California achieve its objectives for freshly prepared school meals and also a more resilient food and farming system. So we're really thrilled about these results. Next slide, please. When asked about concerns related to working in school food, responses echoed known challenges in the school food field. Themes underscore long-standing labor and funding issues. Participants reflected that insufficient labor and staff compensation and kitchen equipment are barriers to achieving the goal of more freshly prepared school meals. And respondents also note a desire for more equipment, for more space, more training. And they also commented on how school meal regulations make it difficult to feel creativity and autonomy in these jobs. Next slide, please. So in addition to an independent evaluation, Chef Anne's team has partnered with Food Insight Group, NextGen, and others to undertake research and advocacy that continues to unpack and address the challenges and opportunities associated with the school nutrition workforce. Next slide, please. And because of concerns that were raised by school nutrition directors, we set out to find out more about these challenges and specifically to understand exactly what are the vacancy and turnover rates in school nutrition departments, as that data in an aggregate form did not exist. And next slide, please. And as Senator Limón mentioned at the beginning of this webinar, what we found was significant. School food authorities report a combined 12% vacancy rate, and that's 3 times higher than US public school teachers. So that is a really high vacancy rate. And next slide, please. And so what does this mean? Why does this matter? As we heard earlier, more kids are eating school meals. And so nutrition departments have to produce those meals, and they have to do that with or without the staffing. And so less staff ends up meaning a greater reliance on pre-packaged and processed foods for our children. And next slide, please. And similarly, turnover rates are much higher than in other industries. Our study found a 13% annual turnover rate reported by school food authorities in California. And for comparison, across all industries, the average turnover rate in 2024 was 3.4%. So high turnover, as you probably know, it's costly, it's harmful to morale, it overburdens the remaining employees, and it also results in a loss of institutional knowledge. And the costs from these challenges are cutting into already tight staffing budgets. And so we dug a little further. Next slide, please. Low wages and competition from fast food and retail entry jobs were commonly cited in our survey as a challenge when it came to recruiting and retaining school food service workers. Yet again, until now, aggregate data on compensation for school food professionals in California had not been collected in any systematic way. So because of that, we teamed up with Urban Institute to understand what are the current wages for school food workers across the state of California. Next slide, please. And so this is a brand new study. We published it just yesterday, and it's based on a survey of California school nutrition departments. And this survey was taken during early 2024. The survey looked at staffing models and compensation levels for school nutrition professionals in California. And we then looked at those compensation levels in comparison with family sustaining wages. And so the amount needed to sustain a family is based on the amount needed to afford housing in California. And that's because the most expensive component of a family's budget is usually housing. Our study found that nearly all urban and suburban school districts and more than half of rural districts have entry-level jobs paying less than the wage needed to afford housing in their area. And these entry-level jobs comprise the vast majority of school food workers in our state of California. And next slide, please. And so to get a little deeper into the data, the figure on this slide shows in green the current median wages of public school-based food service jobs in urban and suburban California districts. And it's also showing, if you look at the blue part of the bar, wages needed to afford basic housing in those locales, which is $33.60 per hour across all districts on average. And lastly, the compression adjustment in black shows what the pay is hypothetically needed to preserve gaps between each occupation so that all occupations don't pay the same. So that is to retain the current pay hierarchy that currently exists. As an example, cashier positions pay less currently than a manager or lead. And it should be noted that most entry-level positions in school food are part-time and seasonal. So these are likely overestimations as to what workers can afford. Next slide, please. So we're aware the living wage gap is widespread, and it's widespread across many industries in our state. And that's especially true at the entry level. But if we're really serious about attracting and retaining talent that can help California transform its school food system, we'll need to, at a minimum, compete with other entry-level positions in competitive industries, such as fast food and healthcare. So the new minimum wage, as you likely know, for fast food workers in California is $20 an hour. And for entry-level healthcare workers, it's $25 an hour. So the entry-level pay for school food workers in California is not far off at $18.63 in rural areas and $19.68 on average in city and suburban areas. So often school nutrition workers are the lowest paid workers in the entire school district. And it's easy for them to move over to fast food or healthcare entry-level positions. And this likely explains the high vacancy and turnover rates we're seeing. So the good news is, for all of us, the gap isn't that big between the entry-level school food workers and minimum wages in these competitive industries. Next slide, please. And another really interesting finding from the compensation study is the potential of the school food career path. So we found that workers at leadership levels, such as nutrition directors, executive chefs, and central kitchen managers, they're currently receiving family-sustaining wages. And that's true even in city and suburban districts, which is what this chart reflects. And unlike most food service jobs, school nutrition professionals, they don't work nights, they don't work weekends, they do receive good benefits and their satisfaction from making a difference in their communities. And so what this means is that with proper training and with career advancement opportunities, there is a path towards economic stability and mobility already in place. Next slide, please. So addressing vacancy and turnover rates and longstanding underinvestment in workforce development does require a multifaceted system-based solution. A piece of that system is creating connection and value in their job and having training in their job so they feel they have a career pathway. And a big piece of that is addressing wage equity. So we are taking steps to push forward on addressing wages and to ensure that California's investments in training leads to increased pay. Next slide, please. So our first initiative as part of the Healthy School Food Pathway was to form a group of school nutrition directors in partnership with the California School Nutrition Association policy chairs, as well as labor representatives for classified workers, to create precedent for increased pay for apprentices that complete the Healthy School Food Pathway program and continue working in school food. So these conversations are ongoing between school nutrition directors and their administration at this stage. And the next slide. And we also have plans for a second phase of the workforce compensation study. And so phase 2 will identify the most efficient labor models for scratch cooking in schools, and we'll also look at current wages as compared to family sustaining wages to identify the gap. We'll then work with the key stakeholders to build consensus around potential policy solutions. And we're really excited about the potential for collaboration and commitment that we're hearing among leaders in this space to continue to work together to address these long-standing challenges. And with that, I will pass it back over to Tiffany.
Thank you so much, Debbie. Could you pass on to the next slide, please? So now we're just going to go over the next budget request. Slide, please. So NextGen and the Chef Ann Foundation are partnering again to advocate for additional funding for the Healthy School Food Pathway program. Our request is for $59 million over the next 3 years to support the next phase of this program. With this funding, we will train an estimated 2,500 pre-apprentices, 725 apprentices, and 36 fellows while partnering with nearly 200 school districts. This represents over a 100% increase in participants compared to the original funding, allowing us to leverage our initial capital investment and enhance return on investment outcome. So I just want to know that 50% of this budget request is actually comprised of participant wages and other worker incentives, and the original funding will end in June of 2026, while this proposed new funding will take us through June of 2029. Slide, please. And there are 3 new program components that we have created based on the input we've received through this program. There's a strong desire for a youth apprenticeship program that will align with current career and technical education programs already in place. This will be designed specifically for youths ages 16 to 24. There is also an interest in chef apprenticeship program designed for chefs in restaurants and other industries such as hospitals and senior facilities who don't need those basic culinary skills but do want to transition over to school food. And lastly, modeled after the teacher retention program, a third program would provide financial incentives for apprentices who complete the program and who commit to work in school food for 3 years. So that's why we want to make sure that these investments in training lead to more people remaining in school food jobs. Slide, please. And just to close it out today, I just want to present our theory of change. So we believe that increased scratch cooking capacity in school nutrition departments, together with a robust workforce development pipeline, plus an increase in worker capacity, will help California's school food system better be able to reach its full potential, leading to incredible benefits such as a more resilient food system, increased economic mobility for our school nutrition workforce, and better student outcomes. We are greatly appreciative of the legislature for your commitment to leading the way in school nutrition, to training a skilled workforce, and to ensuring that every child, regardless of income, has access to the nutritious food they need to thrive. Slide, please. So just want to put this here. Please feel free to reach out to any of us with any follow-up questions. We will also send this presentation as well as all the supporting documents to all those who attended today. And if there are any other questions, we just really want to thank you for your time.